Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Grooz, and welcome to what I'm dubbing the good old cup of Grooz in the morning. Pretty much where I'm going to be podcasting. It's actually my second attempt at podcasting, second attempt at trying to record this. But no, I honestly I love podcasts. I love just kind of spurring nonsense for 40 some odd minutes. But it is currently July 14th, 2019. This is my second, like I said, a second attempt at podcasting. I want to just start getting in the habit of these. I want to start just waking up on Sundays, and it's currently 8 o'clock, and just record something for people to listen to on their easygoing Sunday, where I just spout nonsense and kind of give you an update on what's going on in my neck of the woods for your listening pleasure. It's funny, I think I did another podcast like about 2-3 odd some years ago, and it honestly, it had the worst name I think I've ever come up with, and usually I come up with titles fairly well. I feel like I'm a connoisseur of coming up with catchy titles, but for some reason, podcasts, like trying to think of podcast names for podcasts is just beneath me. I cannot think of titles for podcast, or what I should call my podcast. So, good old cup of Grooz in the morning. It's not bad, I don't think. It may be subject to change. I don't know, depending on if people like it. I already made the thumbnail for it. The thumbnail for the podcast itself. It actually turned out not too bad. Excuse me. So yeah, like I said, I want to get in the habit of doing this every Sunday morning, and just kind of having this be my morning chill podcast to listen to, enjoy, hopefully. But anyways, about my old podcast that I started 3 years ago, and about not being able to come up with the title as well for podcasts. I was looking around for podcasts, and I had a few ideas rolling around. I was gonna call it maybe like the Amazing Grooz Cast. That was my other title that I was gonna have for it, but I felt like that didn't fit the Sunday morning goodness of a Sunday podcast. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. If I was gonna do like evening podcasts with guests, that would not be a bad thing. But anyways, I don't know. 3 odd some years ago, I was looking for titles from a podcast, and I was kind of looking up words. And there's a word that I found. It was called badinage. That is an actual word. And so I was like, it meant like smart, like witty banter, I guess. And I really like the word. It does not, like, believe it or not, it does not fit well with trying to make a podcast title out of it. And so I don't know what I was thinking. I thought to myself, oh, you know what? Let's badinage. What can I make out of this? Then came Bad and Awesome Podcast. I know, yikes, not great. Pretty bad title. I made 1 episode of that. I don't even think I have that on my SoundCloud anymore. I was like, yeah, I can't have this. Like, it was not a bad episode at all. It just kind of broke down what I was like going through, what was happening in my life at the time, and but between the thumbnail I had for it, my graphic design skills are 10 times better than they were a few years back. The thumbnail wasn't great. The name wasn't great. I should have kept the audio though, because I don't know, it was pretty genuine. But yeah, I don't think I have that anymore. But yeah, this is kind of what I want to do on Sundays. Like it's I think it'd be kind of chill to give people an update on what's going on in my life when I'm not live streaming or making videos or whatnot. So I want to talk a little bit about what I got going on internet wise or online wise. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Grooz. Grooz is my nickname as well as my online alias, I guess. And that's kind of cool. I like how I can just have my nickname in real life as my online alias. Short, sweet, to the point. People know who I am. Like I'm not Shadow Wolf 1991 over here. And I like that. But no, and kind of what some of the things I do. I've been doing YouTube ever since YouTube was a thing, kind of. I don't know. I'm pretty sporadic with my projects, but I think I'm working on, bettering myself, setting myself up for having the time and energy to be more consistent. This just happened recently because throughout my online presence, I definitely would upload like very sporadically. I would stream very sporadically. But I'm trying to do a more consistent, like pretty much like producing more and consuming less. You know what I mean? If you're gonna get your online presence out there for people, you need to produce. Like you need to have material for people to know you of. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to produce more and just consume less. And a lot of that takes a lot of time and energy. And so that's why I've been saying, or that's why I said that I've been kind of working my lifestyle around just trying to produce more good content. And by changing my lifestyle, I mean taking less naps. Even though I still take a lot of naps, more than I should. But no, some of the things that I like to do, or I kind of do, produce music. I love working with music. I've been working with music for the past, I want to say like 3 years or so, studying like music theory. It's been a great time. Like, Dad used to be a DJ. Mom used to be a kind of amateur singer. She's very good singer. So I kind of have this musical background, and so like even as a young kid, like going on like Beat Lab, and just like creating these generic beats and whatnot. But just in the past like 3 or some odd years, I've been really studying to like produce professional music that is like that is like new, but also kind of like revolutionary is such a douchey word for it. I like to present something new that people haven't really heard before. And I think one thing that kind of produces is combining different genres. Like I'll combine two different genres together. Say like EDM, even though it doesn't seem that popular. Like music right now doesn't seem that like pop. Its presence isn't super known at this time, and it's weird. I don't know what it is, but music as a whole is not really like, eyes aren't really drawn towards it right now. You know what I mean? But no. So I'll take something like EDM. I love drops in songs. I love the whole dubstep electronic, as long as it's good. I'm not talking like whoa 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 whoa. I'm talking about good rhythms, good melodies that harmonize well together, that produce like strings that are actually fun to listen to. So I'll combine something like EDM or dubstep, and I'll combine it with like, I don't know, like I've been trying to get in, weirdly enough, you probably wouldn't assume this, but I've been trying to get in the combine it with R&B, kind of like hip hop R&B type stuff. I've been working on my raps. I know that's bad to say, probably a little cringy, but I've been working on my raps. I'm working my vocals to kind of combine those, because I think the one thing that I think dubstep and EDM kind of misses the target of, and why it's not as popular as it should be, or as it could be, I mean, is that it's missing one thing that I think a lot of people enjoy music for, which is the vocals. I think it's missing a lot of the vocals. People tend to get drawn towards music more if there are like vocals to connect with, and so I want to try to connect, different kind of like raps, lyrics, vocals into the whole thing that makes dubstep. I hope hopefully that burp didn't get caught in the audio, but if it did, I apologize. But I would like to combine that with the whole thing that makes EDM and dubstep great, which is the breakdowns, the build-ups, the drops. And I'm not saying that it hasn't already been done. It absolutely has, and I think it does terrifically. It melds terrifically together. You could probably think of a few songs, maybe. Trying to think of one song. One song that comes off the top of my head is the Skrillex and Rick Ross song, Purple Lamborghini from Suicide Squad. Not a great movie. Did not enjoy it. But the song is great. I definitely listened to it to a point where I'm actually sick of listening to it, but I think it does that pretty well. And so I like to combine different genres like that. YouTube, I'm working on my YouTube game. Kind of figuring out how a video can be entertaining to watch, how to chop it up and edit it into, I try to go at least 10 minutes with my videos. Not to say that I'm partnered and that that my videos are monetized, because they aren't, but I like to think of, depending on the content I'm making, I'm like, okay, if I'm making this video, what time marker am I trying to hit here? Like what time marker is appropriate for this video to retain people's attention? And I think videos at least 10 minutes. I mean, you don't really need to hit 10 minutes unless you're partnered and you're monetizing a video, because according to the algorithm, monetization favors longer videos. And so I think it's just a good habit to maintain, is just trying to hit that 10-minute marker. But no, I've been trying to gather footage. It's such a long process. Trying to gather footage, edit it up into a series that is, that I think is going to retain people's interest and watchability throughout the entire video, from beginning to end. And so I've been practicing that lately a little bit with some of the content that I've been making. Namely, it's been just Sea of Thieves that I've been working on, but I do want to dive into other series, which I kind of want to talk about a little bit. I've been thinking lately of different shows that I want to make. I've been thinking of I don't know if I want to spoil. If you listen to this podcast and you listen to this far, I'll give you a little dive on or a little sneak peek. On what I kind of got going on. So no, I got two shows that I've been thinking of trying to create. One of them being, what do I got it named? It's gonna be called Grooz's Random Encounters, which is gonna be essentially a show about just interacting with random people on the internet via video games. A lot of the online multiplayer video games where being social is kind of part of the game, and just kind of interacting with viewers that way, and just thinking of ways to make that interesting. So it's in kind of like the more earlier stages of creation. I do have a kick-ass thumbnail for it though that I'm really happy how it turned out. It looks great, honestly. I'm so excited to present that eventually. But no, I don't know, because one thing I think I kind of pride myself on is how good I am at talking to people on the internet, or how well I interact with people on the internet. Hold on, let me take a sip of water here. I don't know, you just don't see that with a lot of the bigger guys. Who out there is willing to, interact with other people online as much as me? I feel like that's kind of a market, I guess you could say, a target that I'm trying to hit with how I can just talk to everyone on the internet, like no problem, interaction, pretty much quickly befriend them. Maybe people have probably seen my streams. Maybe some people have seen my videos. The people I interact with online, like in a game, it'll meld so fast that you're like, wait, is Grooz actually like friends with these guys? Like, it seems like they know each other. And I don't know, I think that's just kind of like a neat, neat, I guess you could say, I guess we'll just say neat trick of mine. Even though it's not really a trick, but you get what I'm saying, that I have online. Now, if only I could build an audience somehow, that would be wonderful. So yeah, Grooz's Random Encounters is a show that I want to do, that I want to kind of grow, that I want to make interesting, that, that grabs people's attention and people go, yo, I haven't seen this on the internet yet, and this guy Grooz is actually doing it, and I want it to be somewhat, shareable. For my content, I want to make it so that if somebody watches it, they want it. They feel like they want to share it. Like, oh, like look at this Grooz guy. Like, look what crazy thing he just did in this live stream slash video slash whatever. So I got that working out. I got a lot of stuff working, and now I'm starting to like get that ball rolling to create more stuff, and just continuously producing. And another show that I've actually just thought of. This was like last week that I just thought of this, but I want to make a little kind of like parody news thing called Grooz News, where it's pretty much me and my green screen, right? And I put myself behind a virtual desk, and because a lot of things that I like to, one thing I like to watch is or not watch, but one thing I like to deliver is like news, like gaming news, video games. And I think it'd be fun to kind of make like a parody news thing, like weekly, about like what's new, like some of the new stuff in gaming, or like relevant game related news. And I'm talking like fake mustache and everything. So that's in the early stages as well. I want to make that interesting. Those are actually going to be shorter. Those probably will be around 4 minutes. I think 4 minutes is a good time for just like giving a weekly update on what's going on with video games. So I'm working on that too. It's the one thing that's really hard about that though, that I'm learning, is how in news there can be sporadic, different angle shots that the newscast takes. It you'll probably notice it switches camera every so often to retain attention and kind of change up the scenery a little bit, kind of get something new for the eyeballs to soak in. And so trying to do that with a virtual, like with pretty much PNG files of a virtual newsroom is going to be a challenge. So if anyone has any tips on that, feel free to message me about that. But I think that'll be fun. I'm talking like, I don't know if I mentioned fake mustache and everything. Maybe just dress up kind of, and by dress up kind of I mean like maybe dress shirt, and that's it. No pants. No pants necessary. Pretty much just dress shirt and a mustache. That's all we got going on. So those are two YouTube things that I got going on right now, as well as continuing to make Sea of Thieves content. Sea of Thieves, some people probably already knew that was coming up, but honestly, Sea of Thieves, video game, pirate game, caught a lot of controversy at the beginning, and I talked about this a little bit, about how games nowadays, publishers will release a game, they'll put assumingly they put like a crazy deadline on these games, and then they'll release it. They'll release it in a condition that was less intended than what the developer wanted. So it'll come out like half done, and then people will start. People will probably buy it, play it, and then people will talk about it and give their opinions to other people who may have not bought it yet. So if your game releases half finished, people are going to take notice of that, and people are going to get probably turned away from it. They're like, oh, the content's not here or whatever, blah 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 blah. And the thing is even if you build upon that game later on, which is what Sea of Thieves did, which is pretty much what Rainbow Six Siege did. I think Division is another good example of that. If you release a game half-ass, it doesn't matter if you build this incredible thing later on, which I'm happy that Sea of Thieves became the game it intended to be later on. But the thing is, once you release a game, like that opinion from people stays. If as soon as that game releases and people's comment on it is negative, it's really hard to kind of it's extremely hard, almost impossible to bring back that game into positive light. No Man's Sky is another great example of that. Supposedly the content in that game is like 100-fold than what it used to be. Like, that game really got built upon. But how many people do you think are playing No Man's Sky right now? Even though now it's probably a great game compared to its launch. Exactly, not a lot. And that's such a horrible trend in games now, because now a game suffers even though it's a great game. But I'm sure it'll still gather people in over time. But no, Sea of Thieves. I've been making content with that. My goal with that is to not only am I having fun with that game, it's honestly probably like if you look at what games are out right now, as of this time, July 14th, 2019, there's not a whole lot of great games right now. A lot, I mean, I've played a lot of those games, and this is definitely subjective, but there's only select games that I feel are like actually fun to play for a good course of time. And for some, I don't know, maybe I've got the Sea of Thieves goggles on too tight, but I'm still enjoying that game. They just, with their anniversary update, they released fishing with in a like hunting faction, as well as a PvP faction called the Sea Dogs. As soon as the arena released for me, I grinded that so hard. I grinded it so hard. I became that jaded old man. As I was grinding out like accommodations and like grinding out level 50 and grinding out 240 wins for awesome skins. But no, honestly, it was some of the best multiplayer experiences I think I've ever had. Like it was frustrating a little bit because I think the grind really gets to you, as is probably in a lot of video games. A lot of games that have that long grind tend to wear on you. But honestly, like I don't know, for the longest time, like it didn't feel like a grind until I think after I hit 50. No, I think it was when I was working my way up to 50. Did the grind really set in for me? But like I don't know, I've maybe put in. I don't know how many hours I would say. I wish I could track this stuff, but I honestly like maybe I want to say like 1,000 hours into the arena. I mean, but it was just such a great time. Like I like grinds that don't feel like grinds. Like as long as the grind is fun, it's not actually a grind. If the job is fun, it's not actually a job. So for the longest time it was fun. I enjoyed so much playing with like a bunch of people in that game. Just overall, like I think my Xbox friends list is like at full capacity here. But no, it's been a great time. Yeah, I hope. I'm sure people are probably sick of hearing me talk about Sea of Thieves, but I hope that game just continues to grow and be better. And I just hope that developers don't keep shooting themselves in the foot with that game. It's such a great game, and I want more people to play it. I want it to be relevant, so that's why I've been kind of like making content with it to show people. Hopefully, I mean even though not a whole lot of people would watch my videos. I want to show people kind of like just how good it can be. How, like, even though it's not the perfect game, it's still a very fun game to play overall. Like I love the thing I like the most about it is it just grasps the concept of fun. It doesn't rip off of other games. It's its own thing. It doesn't follow trends, and I think that's probably another reason why it's not sitting too well with gamers. I should say that it tries to be its own game and doesn't copy of anybody else. They bring their own ideas to the table and they stick with that. And I guess that's another thing why I love this game. Another reason why I love that game. So that's kind of going on with the YouTube. Continuing to work on graphic design stuff, and honestly, I'm getting better. I'm getting like my like YouTube editing skills, graphic design skills, getting better. Twitch, on the other hand, I need to be more active on. I love live streaming. But like I said earlier, like I've been kind of more sporadic with it. It's just tough to find a game that I'm very picky. I'm very picky with the games that I stream. I like to stream relevant games, but that don't put me buried with the tremendous amount of people that stream nowadays. Like, it is insane. I don't know if the numbers dropped or risen. But anyways, there are so many streamers, and I mean, they're getting better. Everyone's improving their stream to be watchable. And I mean, that's great. That's honestly great. And it's going to be competition for me, but that just makes me want to improve as well. Like, if everyone else is getting better, I too want to get better, whatever way I can, so I can gather viewers, people people to watch me play video games or whatnot. So I've been trying to. I gotta work on the. I think that's another thing that I kind of have to work on. In addition to the YouTube stuff, is just to get the Twitch in a good position for watchability and for people to kind of tune in. But a lot of that stuff is pretty much what I'm going to be working on in the upcoming weeks. I think, it's been like a half an hour, looks like, on the recording. I think that's a good stopping point for a good old cup of Grooz in the morning. Kind of give people an update on what's going on, and yeah, I think I'll call it right here. Call this an episode. Call her good for now. All right. So that was, of course, a good old cup of Grooz in the morning. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed me rambling on for 32 minutes now. It looks like I actually had, I had a lot of fun with this. I love just like wake up in the morning and just spilling the beans right on this I guess you could say podcast. And like I said, going to try to make it like a weekly thing for people to kind of like listen to and just get an update on what's going on in my neck of the woods. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll probably put this up on SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever I can. And yeah, I got some videos to edit, and I probably should go to the gym today. Would not be a bad idea. So thank you guys for listening to me ramble. If you guys want to check me out, shoot me a follow at twitch.tv/Grooz, and follow me on Twitter. That's at Garrett, Garrett. That'd be my first name, and then Grooz. So follow me on Twitter at Garrett Grooz. Everything else is Garrett Grooz too. While you're at it, Instagram, YouTube, Garrett Grooz. So thank you guys. Enjoy your day. Enjoy this Sunday or whatever day you're listening this on. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Peace. I'm out of here.